Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. We begin our video with a story in which the offender of our OP received a dose of karma from the universe. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. An Uno reverse, well played. Happened a couple hours ago. I was in a hurry to get to the bank and cancel my account since I'm poor as dirt and debt was starting to pile up. I was kinda late, so I parked in a bad spot. Bald guy in a Toyota arrives while I'm parking and starts berating me to move my car or he'll get it towed, all the while screaming and pointing at a relatively far away legit parking spot. Now, I'm really in a hurry because my debt increases for each and every day my account's still open, and it's the first time in months I can afford to pay for it. But I can't afford to get my crappy car towed, so I oblige and move my car. When I'm walking all the way back to the bank, I realize this dumbbutt just parked in the place I was before, so I call the towing service and get inside the bank. When I got out 25 minutes later, dumbbutt was there, but his Toyota was not. I waved my hand at him and walked towards my parking spot. I can only imagine the satisfaction you felt in this situation. And our second story. I'm homeless. I don't want your food. When I met my ex 4 years ago, he had a non-blood related uncle, Mark, renting out his shed. He had been in and out of jail while dealing with his alcoholism at the time, and having an address helped him get a sort of visitation right to see his 8-year-old son. I really felt bad for the dude. He was working his way up. Fast forward 3 years, he still lives with my now ex, and I wave to him sometimes, but I thought his situation would improve. It did not. It must have had something to do with not seeing his kid, but he had no motivation to do anything. He wasn't trying to improve. Every damn morning, he walks a busted wheelchair to the corner by my house, walks it. I know there are situations where people only need their wheelchair half the time as they can still walk, but this was not the case. I knew him. He didn't need it. He sits and begs per usual, which tears at the little hearts of our precious neighborhood grannies. One in particular is my aunt. She loves to make him little snacks and drop them off. She gives him dinner leftovers when there's enough. One day she pulled up to him and gestured for him to open her door and take the food. He stands up out of his wheelchair, takes a peek inside, his brow pinches in frustration. Mark, no, I'm not doing this. What am I supposed to do with this? These are grapes. Aunt Bev, I'm sorry, I think my grandchildren want them. Sorry, and have a great day. Mark, no, I'm not doing this. What am I supposed to do with this? These are grapes. Aunt Bev, I'm sorry, I think my grandchildren want them. Sorry, and have a good day. Mark, no, you should be paying me for all the food you would have given me. Think of me every time you buy food and set that money aside for me. Okay, did this guy just tell my aunt how to spend her money? I was sitting in the back seat when this happened, tending to my 1-year-old niece in her car seat. We were watching her for the day. I didn't say anything at the moment because my aunt drove off flustered. She shared this with her yarn club, and most of these old women had stories about attempting to give him food, and he straight up refuses. He only wants money. When he does get money, he obviously supplies his booze problem. At night, I see him in the park, too drunk to walk. So finally, the wheelchair comes into use, and he just tries to drag himself with his feet around the place, looking insane. And our next story. You want to cancel your service, Karen? Okay. Background. I worked for an internet service provider in Australia called IANET. We were at the time one of the biggest providers, but crucially, we did not own our ADSL1 network, and we only on-sold the ADSL1 service from the biggest provider in the country, Telstra. We also had a policy that an ongoing issue should have a case owner. And I was the case owner for this, which is why I got multiple calls about it. Act 1. A wild Karen appears. I get a call from a Karen. While doing an ID check, she provides me her age, and of course she's in her 40s. Her internet went down. I look at the account and I can see she's got unsold Telstra service. One thing catches my eye. Although there are thousands of exchanges, central place your connection goes to, shared by multiple suburbs in the country, you can't possibly know them all. I know the one she's on because a few weeks earlier a friend was considering buying a house in the area, and I looked at this one and found that there are no free ports, and thus it's impossible to get a new service connected. The waiting list for a new connection was 2.5 years at least. So I asked her to do the troubleshooting steps, and she says she does, but I suspect she's just telling me she's doing it to make me go away. Whatever, nothing I can do about that. We exhaust all the troubleshooting, and I tell her there appears to be a line fault. I can send out a technician, but it'll take 3 to 5 working days, and if there is actually nothing wrong with the line, she'll be charged $199 plus $40. Numbers might be wrong, it was a while back, but it was at least $200 for every 15 minutes of work to cover the technician's time. I play her the disclaimer that outlines this, and she says, "Yeah, I accept," on the recording. I lodge a fault. Act 2, the fault, in our loop. She calls after 2 days, sounds annoyed, things are still offline. I tell her it hasn't been 5 days. She hangs up. On the 5th day, I get the technician's report saying no fault found. Next day, she calls. Karen: "So my connection's still offline. It's been 5 days. What's happening?" Me: "Well, the technician attended the fault and his report says no fault found." Karen: "What? That's bullcrap. The internet is clearly down. I need you to fix it." Me: "I don't doubt the internet is offline, but the fault does not appear to lie within our area of responsibility. I'd suggest you check your local equipment." Karen: "That's not true. My son's an IT guy and the router is brand new." Me: "Okay, well, I can't speak for the state of your equipment, but our equipment appears to be in working order. Incidentally, I just want to make sure to give you a heads up that we'll be placing an incorrect call-out fee on your next invoice." Karen: "You're lying to me. I didn't see no technicians, and now you want to charge me over $200 based on your lies? I won't let that happen." Me: "I assure you the technician attended the reported fault. However, you didn't see them because they probably only went to the exchange, which is approximately 4 kilometers away from you." Karen: "You're lying to me. I'm not paying the fee. What can I do now?" Me: "Well, if you're adamant that your equipment is not at fault, your only option is to file another fault and send the tech out again. It's fairly rare, but it's not impossible the technician was wrong." Karen: "And then you'll pretend you send the tech and charge me another incorrect call-out fee." Me: "We will most definitely send out another tech, but yes, it's very likely to come back as another NFF, and in that case, a further fee is likely." Karen: "That's bullcrap. I've been with you for 5+ years, and this is how you treat me? Cancel my service now. I'll go to your competitors. They'll want my money." Me: "Ma'am, the exchange you're connected to only has Telstra ports and is at 100% utilization. If I cancel your service, you'll lose your spot. It's unlikely any of our competitors will be able to provide you any service at all. You should just transfer your service to the next provider. So-called churn. This'll allow her to keep her spot." Karen: "Don't you tell me what to do, you lying sack of crap. You'll cancel my service now, or I'll do everything in my power to have you fired." Now I'm pissed off myself. It's a crap situation, but there's no need to take it out on me. I'm trying to help her, and that's her response? Me: "Okay, ma'am, hold on for a moment. I'm canceling your service." Me: "Okay, cancellation processed. Let me just remind you that the incorrect call-out fee is still due." Karen: "You won't see a cent of that." Me: "Noted, but the amount is over collections threshold, so we will send you to collections." Karen: Click. Act 3. The joys of the waiting list. About a month later, I get a request to transfer to me. It's Karen. I take a moment to catch up on her file, and the service is canceled and fee invoiced. I run a quick service qualification on her line, and I can see that our service, so-called codes, have dropped off and there are no other codes on her line. She didn't manage to get connected with anyone. Karen: "Hello, I think I spoke with you last time." Me: "Yes, you did." Karen: "My internet's still down and you're still charging me for the fee. I need you to get rid of it." Me: "I cannot do that. The charge is valid." Karen: "Well, I can't pay it. You've ruined my business. I was operating an e-commerce business, and that won't be possible anytime soon." Running a business over residential connection is a breach of customer service agreement, but I let that slide. Me: "I'm sorry for your predicament, but the fee stands." Karen: "I'll do you a deal. If you reconnect my service, I'll pay the fee." Me: "I can probably sign you up again, even though you're behind on payment. But I wasn't lying to you when I told you there are no ports on your exchange. It's very unlikely you'd get a port. They're all in use. Did you try with our competitors as you said you would?" Karen: "I did. None of them would even try signing me up because they told me they couldn't provide a service." Me: "We're in the same situation." Karen, why can't you just give me back my old port? Because it was given to the first person on the waiting list. And how long does the waiting list take? Last I checked, more than 2 years. This is ridiculous. I'm going to TIO, Telecommunications Industry Ombudsman. Me. You may do so, as is your right, but to be very clear, we will substantiate the validity of our fee. Karen, whatever. Click. Conclusion. She did, in fact, file a complaint with TIO, and I handed her case over to a TIO complaint specialist. I made sure to point out that she was breaching TOS with a business over residential service. TIO obviously ruled in our favor, and we were allowed to send her to actual collections. Before I left the company, about a year and a half later, I caught up on her file, and she had filed a loss of business claim, which was summarily closed because residential connections have no service level agreement. Last contact was her speaking to our credit team, asking them to make sure they mark her debt as paid with our collections people and make sure this is reflected on her credit rating. There were still no codes on her line. It's quite unlikely she got any reasonably priced service connected for at least 2 years. Realistically, longer as demand only ever went up. Love it, especially the complaint at the end. So just to be clear, your complaint is that I did what you asked me to do? Fantastic work. Well done. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.